In the Word. Thank you for joining me today. I'm actually recording this on Tuesday evening. I have just finished an entire day with two missionaries. They were teaching our missionary apprenticeship program students, and I got to sit in at different times throughout the day on their teaching, and it done something this evening. I didn't want to go home. I wanted to come back to the office and record this because it's what's on my heart. It's weighing on my mind tonight. And so for this morning, if I could deviate from my mission stories to perhaps their mission stories in effect, I want to tell you what I heard today. Not what they were teaching, but what I heard from these missionaries, what I heard from their heart. The two missionaries were both from Nicaragua. One is Bobby Bailey, and he serves on the international board. He serves on the national board there in Nicaragua also, and he is our national youth director for the country of Nicaragua. And Bobby taught the students throughout the day, poured his heart out to them, helped prepare them for their time. Our students will be coming to Nicaragua around the 11th of November. And so Bobby was getting them ready and telling them what to expect, what they would be doing in their classes, how it would be in their living conditions, and so on and so forth. But in the course of his teaching, he talked to them about finances, about being home, about itinerating, about raising money. He was with us last week in camp meeting, and his project was we are completing the dining hall and kitchen at our training center and youth camp, and Bobby wanted to outfit the classrooms, the tabernacle with chairs, the kitchen with utensils and what have you, and the dining hall with tables and chairs. So he had a budget of it's $8,000 and some dollars, nearly $9,000, and we raised that in one night, and praise God. And so Bobby used that as an example. He said, "I'm home, I'm itinerating." And last week I was in camp meeting, and we raised an enormous amount of money, and that money will go to that project. He said, "It doesn't go to me." And he said, in fact, most of the places that I'll go while I'm home, I'll be raising money. And he said, say I go to Church XYZ this weekend, and they give me $1,000. And he said, and you think that I just personally made $1,000. It don't work that way. He said, I know what events, I know what outreaches, I know what endeavors that we have planned for Nicaragua. And he said, I can't just call the home office here in Germantown of ALMI and say, hey, I'm going to do this event. I need $1,200 this week. He said, if I do events, that's going to come out of the money I raise right now. And so if they pay me $1,000, I may have to earmark $800 of it for this ministry, this outreach, this event, and $200 will go to my personal use. That's the way it is. And so there's the care of the ministry that weighs on this missionary I refer to. Not just him, though, all missionaries. And pretty much operate the same way. There's not some extra pie somewhere that pays for everything, and then the money you raise is all personal funds. They raise it and they give it and they keep it in the ministry. By and large, the vast majority of it. But where do they get theirs? You see, we don't often think of that. We don't often think of blessing them outside of a project, outside of a ministry need. What about personally? And so that was weighing on him. It's on his mind today. That is part of the burden, part of what the missionary goes through. You raise this money, but it's not in your bank account. It's not funding you. It's not your future. It's by and large, the majority of it, vast majority, is ministry. What do? How are they going to operate like that? What about their future? We think about ours. What about theirs? The second one was Miriam Mendoza. She has been the director of our House of Refuge Children's Home in Leon, Nicaragua for the past several years. She's 31 years old. She's educated. She's an excellent manager. She's a trained accountant and has a heart for God and a heart for children. And so as she was explaining to the students, when you come to Nicaragua, you will spend some time at the House of Refuge. And here's what it's like. And I made some bullet points. For the director, there's the care of 30 children on her shoulders, 24/7. No release, no respite from that. Those children become, in effect, her children. And I know we have a staff, but she's the director. And ultimately, the buck stops with her. And so she carries a load for them. And then there's the burden of the budget. I know because I'm here at the home office. And she will call and or email rather, and say, hey, can you guys, the October budget is thus, we need extra money for this and this, we got to make repairs on that, and we either have it or we don't have it. There's no magic place that we go pick money off of trees back here behind my office. There is none. And she carries that burden. How you going to feed the kids? How you going to keep the medical care there that needs to be? How are you going to keep their schooling moving along? Because we educate them along with feeding them and taking care of them. We also educate them. And so, is there curriculum you have to buy? And on and on and on. There's the burden of the budget. That's what I'm saying. And then as I listen to her, there's the burden of dealing with all the government regulations. And I would just tell you, it's not easy to run a house of refuge there in Nicaragua. It's not easy. I don't want to say too much, but it is a load to keep everything legal, to meet all of the governmental regulations, to file all of the forms, keep all of the paperwork, do all of the inspections, and it goes on and on and on and on and on. That's a burden. And then she has sickness at home. Her mother is very ill. She is very ill. And Miriam carries a burden for her, and she may have to take sole responsibility for caring for her mother very soon. And then there's her own life. She's 31. She's a single young lady. And she wonders about her own life while she cares for all these kids, while she carries this heavy load. While as a young lady, she has the load of someone much older. And so I listened to two missionaries, and they were very positive, and they were exciting to the students, and they gave their stories and the pictured for the kids what they were, for the students, what they would be doing the next several months while they're there, the next couple months, and made it to where they want to go now. I just took them to dinner. They want to go. They want to go now. But I heard their burden. I heard a little bit of weariness, load that they carry. And most of us never think of that. We don't consider that. We're moved by projects. We want to see something go forward. We're Americans. We want to see something done. Sometimes we don't think about them as people, as needing things themselves. We're glad they're sacrificing to take the gospel to third world countries, but do we understand that they're loaded down? Do we ever get a feel for their burden? We should. We should. 1 Peter 5:7, here's what it boils down to. And had I been able to talk to them privately today, after the class I weren't. They were busy, had to go. Casting all your care, Peter said, on him, for he careth for you. That, my friend, is the key, not just for these missionaries. And I told their story because I want you sometimes to have a different perspective. I want us to think of them as people that like what we like, need what we need. And if they get it, it'll be because we gave, because we cared, because we shared. And I think we very much should be. But to all of us, to them, and to you this morning, you can't carry that load by yourself. Some of you are alone, so alone. Widows, widowers, young adult that have not found a life partner, and you feel so alone at times it just swamps you. The only way you can do is cast your care on him. Others dealing with sickness, aging parents, ailing parents, a sick child, a sick spouse, someone's health failing, and you watch it, you carry that load. A lost son or daughter, grandson, granddaughter, and you carry that load for them. What do? You cast your care on him. On this Thursday or Wednesday morning, cast your care on him. Let me read this to you in the Amplified. I want you to hear this. I love the way the Amplified says this. Casting the whole of your care, all of your anxieties, all your worries, all your concerns, once and for all on him, for he cares for you affectionately and cares about you watchfully. And that's something I love. Again, the Amplified is just, it's not a new version or a different version. It's just that. It just amplifies what is said in the King James, meant to help you grasp it a little bit better. And in this case, I think it surely does. All of your anxieties, all your worries, all your concerns. Cast them on him. That's what I wanted to tell the missionaries today, and that's what I wanted to tell you this morning. Cast your care on him. All of your anxieties, whatever they may be, all your worries, all your concerns, Jesus cares. You can share them with him. On this Wednesday morning, maybe you're driving on your way to work. Why don't you just slip a hand up and say, Lord, I can't carry this burden alone. I give it to you. That concern, that worry, that anxiety, give it to him this morning. You're not meant to carry this alone. Don't try. Jesus is there to carry the load for you. God bless you. Have a blessed Wednesday. If you're in the Miami Valley tonight at Prayer and Praise, we're blessed to have Sister Connie Rolls. She begins a teaching on the tabernacle for the next many weeks. It's going to be great. 7:05, Abundant Life Tabernacle tonight. Prayer and Praise. Be here. Love to see you.